She cried loudly in her room 3 hours ago. I saw it before the walls heard it. I felt it before the air carried it. I was there when the tears gathered like clouds that had waited too long to rain, when the heart tried to be strong but finally loosened its grip. I am not distant from such moments. I do not sleep through them. I do not miss the quiet battles fought where no one claps and no one sees. I was present when her shoulders shook, when her breath stumbled, when her hands searched for something solid to hold. I am the one who counts every tear, not as a number, but as a language, because tears speak when mouths cannot. She thought she was alone. She believed the night had swallowed her voice. She wondered if anyone would notice the ache pressing against her chest, the questions circling her thoughts like shadows with no names. But I was listening. I always listen. Even when words fall apart. Even when prayers sound like confusion. Even when all that rises is a trembling sigh. I heard the cry she tried to silence, the pain she hid behind brave smiles, the exhaustion she wrapped in laughter so others would not worry. Nothing about her sorrow was invisible to me. I am the God who enters locked rooms. I walk into moments people think are unholy because of pain. I do not turn away from tears, I draw closer to them. When she sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the floor as if it might answer her questions, I was there. When her mind replayed moments she wished she could change, I was there. When time felt heavy and slow, like it refused to move forward, I was there, holding the seconds so they would not crush her. Do you know what I whispered while she cried? Not answers yet. Not explanations. I whispered presence. I whispered, you are seen. Because before healing comes understanding, and before understanding comes the knowing that you are not forgotten. The world often measures value by noise, by achievement, by how well someone hides their cracks. I measure differently. I look at the heart when it is honest, when it breaks open instead of hardening. That is where I meet my children. There are reasons she feels the way she does, layers beneath layers, some formed long ago, some shaped by recent disappointments, some she cannot even name. I am not intimidated by complexity. I created the depths of the ocean, I can navigate the depths of a human soul. What feels confusing to her is not confusing to me. What feels tangled is not beyond my hands. I am patient. I do not rush the process, because I care more about wholeness than speed. While she cried, she questioned her worth. She replayed words spoken carelessly by others, moments where she felt overlooked, misunderstood, or replaced. She wondered if her effort mattered, if her kindness made any difference, if her presence changed anything at all. Hear me now, every seed of love she planted is remembered. Every time she chose compassion when bitterness would have been easier, I saw it. Every silent sacrifice, every time she stayed quiet to keep peace, every time she showed up tired but willing, none of it vanished into nothing. I am a God who keeps records written not in ink, but in eternity. There is suspense in her story because the chapter she is in is not the final one. I allow pauses that feel uncomfortable because something is forming beneath the surface. Just as the earth grows quiet before a seed breaks open, there are seasons where nothing seems to change, yet everything is being prepared. She thinks the silence means absence. It does not. Silence often means attention. It means I am working in ways that cannot yet be announced. I know the fear that followed her tears. The fear that tomorrow will feel the same. The fear that hope will disappoint again. The fear of trusting when trust has been fragile. I do not shame those fears. I hold them. I remind her gently that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to keep breathing while fear speaks loudly. And she did keep breathing. That matters more than she realizes. Mystery surrounds what is coming next, not because I enjoy hiding goodness, but because timing matters. Some gifts arrive only when the hands are ready to receive them without dropping them. Some doors open only after strength has been built quietly. I am shaping her discernment, her resilience, her ability to recognize what is real and what only looks appealing. One day she will look back at this moment and understand why it could not have happened any other way. I was with her when the tears slowed, when exhaustion replaced emotion, when silence settled again. I stayed when she wiped her face and told herself to be strong once more. I stayed when she lay down and stared at the ceiling, thoughts drifting between hope and doubt. I did not leave when the crying stopped, because my presence is not dependent on noise. I remain in the calm and in the storm. Let this be known. She is not broken beyond repair. She is not weak for feeling deeply. Sensitivity is not a flaw, it is a doorway to wisdom when guided by truth. I am teaching her how to guard her heart without closing it, how to stand firm without becoming hard, how to trust again without losing herself. These lessons are not loud, but they are powerful. There are people she has not met yet who will understand her in ways she did not think possible. There are conversations ahead that will feel like fresh air. There are moments of laughter that will surprise her because she forgot how light life could feel. None of this erases the pain she felt tonight, but it redeems it, weaving it into a story that carries meaning instead of regret. I am not finished speaking to her. I am not finished shaping her path. What feels like waiting is actually alignment. What feels like delay is protection. What feels like loss is sometimes redirection. Trust me enough to stay open. Trust me enough to rest. Trust me enough to believe that the same God who was present in her tears is also present in her tomorrow, and the next day, and the days she cannot yet imagine, because there is more unfolding than she can currently see, and even now, as the night stretches on and the questions linger, I am still here, still watching. Still holding the story in my hands as the next moment quietly approaches and the purpose begins to stir just beneath the surface. Waiting for the exact second when it will rise and reveal the shape of what has been hidden, because I am a God of unveiling, not all at once, but layer by layer, moment by moment, breath by breath. I know how humans crave certainty. I know the mind searches for guarantees, timelines, clear signs that remove all doubt. Yet faith is born where certainty ends. That is why I do not always explain immediately. Explanation can satisfy curiosity, but trust transforms the soul. While she cried, she asked questions she was afraid to say out loud. Why now? Why me? Why does it hurt this way? I did not reject those questions. I gathered them. Questions are not rebellion, they are invitations. And I will answer them, though not always in the language she expects. There are things happening around her that she cannot yet perceive. Conversations unfolding without her name spoken aloud, decisions forming behind closed doors, alignments shifting in subtle ways. I am rearranging what no longer fits her future. Some connections must loosen so new ones can form. Some expectations must fall so purpose can rise. This is not punishment. It is preparation. What she would have settled for before will not be enough for who she is becoming. I see how she compares herself in quiet moments, how she wonders why others seem to move forward while she feels paused. But pause is not failure. A pause is often a recalibration. Even the stars appear still from a distance, yet they are constantly moving, constantly burning with purpose. So is she. Growth does not always announce itself. Sometimes it happens deep within, where no applause reaches, where only I witness the becoming. I am teaching her discernment through disappointment. I am sharpening her vision through moments of confusion. I am strengthening her roots through storms that try to uproot her. Roots grow strongest in darkness, not light. That is why some of her most important work is happening now, in places she wishes she could escape. I do not waste pain. I repurpose it. She does not yet know how strong her voice will become. Because right now it trembles. She does not yet know how steady her steps will be, because right now she hesitates. She does not yet know how deep her peace will run, because right now waves still crash. But I see the finished work. I see the confidence that will replace doubt, not arrogance, but quiet assurance. I see the compassion that will flow from her because she understands what it means to ache. I see the wisdom that will one day guide others through similar nights. I am not asking her to rush healing. Healing is not a race. It is a relationship. Some wounds close quickly, others require time, gentleness, and patience. I am careful with her heart, even when she feels exposed. I cover her in ways she cannot always recognize. I block what would overwhelm her. I delay what would distract her. I allow what will refine her. When she wonders if her prayers reached me, hear this clearly: nothing lifted in sincerity ever fails to arrive. Even prayers tangled in doubt still rise. Even whispered hopes still carry weight. I do not measure prayer by eloquence, but by honesty. And her honesty moved the heavens more than she realizes. There is mystery in the timing of relief. I could remove every burden instantly, but then she would miss what is forming within her. Strength that has never been tested remains unproven. Wisdom that has never wrestled with uncertainty remains shallow. I am not cruel. I am intentional. And everything I allow passes through my hands first. I know she fears disappointment. That fear comes from moments where expectations collapsed, where trust felt misplaced, where hope seemed foolish. But hope is never foolish when placed in me. Human systems fail. Human promises fade. But I do not shift with circumstance. I remain constant when everything else feels unstable. That is why I call her back to me again and again, not to religion, not to routine, but to relationship. She may not realize it, but even in her tears, she showed courage. She did not numb herself. She did not harden completely. She allowed herself to feel. That openness is sacred. Many close their hearts to survive, but she chose honesty. I can work with honesty. I can heal what is exposed. There are moments ahead that will test whether she believes what I am saying now. Moments where old patterns try to return. Moments where doubt knocks louder than faith. When those moments come, I want her to remember this night, not for the pain, but for the truth that I was present in it. If I did not abandon her then, I will not abandon her later. I am building something within her that will not crumble under pressure. A peace that does not depend on circumstances. A joy that is not fragile. A confidence that is rooted, not borrowed from approval. This does not happen overnight. It happens through surrender, through patience, through learning to trust my pace over her urgency. There are doors she wants open now that I am keeping closed for her protection. There are paths she thinks she wants that would cost her more than she knows. I see outcomes she cannot see yet. I see the full picture while she holds only a fragment. Trusting me means believing that the one who sees all is guiding even when the way feels unclear. I am closer than she thinks. Not watching from a distance, but walking beside her thoughts, sitting with her in silence, breathing hope into places she thought were empty. I am the God who speaks through stillness, who moves through patience, who works through waiting, and as time continues to move forward, as hours turn into days, and days into seasons, she will begin to notice small shifts. A thought that no longer hurts as sharply. A memory that loses its grip. A strength she did not know she had. These are not accidents. These are signs of healing already in motion. She does not need to have everything figured out. She only needs to stay open. Stay willing. Stay connected. I will handle the rest. I always have. Even when she doubted. Even when she cried. Even when she felt forgotten, I am writing her story with intention. Not hurried. Not careless. Every chapter has purpose, even the ones written in tears. Especially those. Because one day, those very tears will become evidence, not of weakness, but of transformation, and there is more I have not yet said. More she has not yet heard. More that must unfold slowly, carefully, because revelation arrives best when the heart is ready to receive it. So remain here in this moment. Do not rush the silence. Do not fear the pause. I am still speaking, still weaving, still shaping what is coming next, and the story is not finished, not even close, because what approaches now carries weight, and timing, and meaning, and I am preparing her to recognize it when it arrives, even as the night lingers and the unseen continues to stir, waiting, gathering, aligning, as I remain present. Watching, guiding, and continuing to speak with a gentleness that does not force, and a strength that does not fail. Listen to me now as the night gives way to what comes next. I am not asking her to forget what she felt. I am asking her to place it in my hands. Pain does not disqualify her, it clarifies what matters. The tears that fell were not wasted drops. They softened the ground of her heart so new truth could take root. Where hardness might have formed, humility appeared instead. Where bitterness could have grown, awareness took its place. This is how renewal begins. I know she wonders how long it will take before she feels like herself again. Hear me carefully, she is not returning to who she was. She is becoming who she is meant to be. The version of her shaped by this season will be wiser, steadier, more anchored in what truly matters. Some innocence will be replaced by discernment. Some fear will be replaced by courage. Some questions will remain unanswered for now, but they will no longer control her peace. There will be moments soon when she feels a quiet strength rising, not dramatic, not loud, but steady. She will notice that what once triggered deep pain now only echoes faintly. She will realize she can stand where she once collapsed. This is not because she hardened, but because she healed. I am teaching her how to carry her heart with care, not suspicion. I will guide her toward what aligns with her growth. She will feel drawn to clarity and repelled by chaos. She will sense when something is not meant for her, and she will have the courage to step away without explaining herself. This is maturity. This is wisdom earned, not given lightly. I am also restoring her ability to hope without fear. Hope does not mean pretending everything is fine. It means trusting that even when things are not fine, they are still being handled. I am teaching her to rest without guilt, to breathe without apology, to trust that she does not need to earn my care. It is already hers. Let her know this. She does not need to carry the weight of the future tonight. Tomorrow has its own grace. The coming days will reveal what she needs. One step at a time. She will not be overwhelmed with everything at once. I am kind in my timing. I know exactly how much light to release and when. There will be a moment, quiet, ordinary, unexpected, when she realizes she is no longer afraid of being alone with her thoughts. That moment will mark a turning point. Peace will no longer feel like something she is chasing, it will feel like something she inhabits. That is when she will know the work has been happening all along. I am proud of her for enduring. For staying open. For choosing not to disappear inside her pain. Strength does not always look like standing tall, sometimes it looks like staying present. She stayed. And I stayed with her. As this message draws to its close, let it be sealed with this truth: she is held. Fully. Carefully. Continuously. Nothing about her journey is accidental. Nothing about her tears was unseen. Nothing about her future is uncertain to me. The night did not defeat her. It refined her. The silence did not abandon her. It prepared her. And the story does not end with crying in a room. It continues with rising, with clarity, with purpose unfolding gently but surely. Now rest. Let go. Trust the unfolding. I am already in what comes next, and I will walk with her into it, step by step, until light feels natural again, and peace no longer feels distant, because I am the same God who met her in the tears. And I remain with her as the dawn arrives. Amen.